And we're going to start with Ashrei. Now, the thing about Ashrei is I love a good Ashrei melody because I cannot say Ashrei. There's so many consonants. Psalm 145 is the psalm that beats up other psalms in dark alleys and steals its consonants. My jaw locks when I try to chant all of Ashrei. So I love a good tune for Ashrei. And this past summer at the Women Cantors Network Conference in Oklahoma, I learned Hannah Tiferet Siegel's melody for Ashrei. So you've probably heard me do this one. It's very, very short, and it's a good tune to warm up our voices with. I think that we're going to get into some more complex melodies. So we're going to start out with this one. You'll probably know it a little bit. I'll sing it through, and then we can all sing it through a couple of times. But what you may not know is that there's a B tune. I've been singing essentially half of this. And the B tune is in English, and I thought that you might like to hear that one too. So this is the tune. You've probably heard me sing it. It goes, Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yahalelu Chasela. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yahalelu Chasela. Probably all recognize this one. So let's, and I know I've heard people singing it behind me. So let's sing just that a couple of times through, and I'll, give the hand signal for when the tune goes up or when it goes down. So, Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yahalelu Chasela. 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 So you know that. And so Hannah Tiferet Siegel she was ordained as a rabbi by the Renewal Movement. And this is very, very typical kind of renewal piece. It's one that you can just sort of chant over and over again and sort of feel things going. But there's more to it. So you'll notice that Ashrei begins with this phrase, joyous are they who dwell in your house. They shall praise you forever. And she has a gloss on that.
I was saying page 136. Or other page, which one?
I'm on 181.
181, okay. Yeah,
181. Yes, very good. So,
there we go.
Right. So you can just keep on singing that Hebrew line, which was what I usually do in services. But you can also go on from it. So you start, Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yahalelu Chasela. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yahalelu Chasela. Joyful dwelling in my heart, home is in my heart. Joyful dwelling in my heart, home is in my heart. Ashrei, Ashrei. So, and then it just keeps on going from there, and that's the B tune. It's a very common sort of way for folk tunes to go, is to start out in the sort of lower register and then move to a higher register and then move back to the low register, kind of gives an arc shape. This is actually how Shalom Aleichem originally functioned when Goldfarb wrote it. We don't sing it that way, but that's how it functions. So I'll sing the B melody again. Joyful dwelling in my heart, home is in my heart. Joyful dwelling in my heart, home is in my heart. So like the A tune, it's very similar. Both lines start out very similar, and they end a little bit differently. So the first one, home is in my heart. And you can see with that tune, with the two notes on heart, sort of bringing you into the next line. Home is in my heart, joyful, dwelling in my heart. Home is in my heart. And this is sort of insistent leading tone that brings you back to Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah. Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah. Joyful, dwelling in my heart. Home is in my heart. Joyful, dwelling in my heart. Home is in my heart. Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah. Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah. Joyful, dwelling in my heart. Home is in my heart. Joyful, dwelling in my heart. Home is in my heart. Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah. Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah. Does that feel a little bit more familiar to people?
Yeah, it's pretty.
It is
very
lovely. Both of those tunes also work very well together. A lot of A and B tunes from that tradition do. You want to try them together?
Oh,
We can try them together. A lot of times it takes somebody with a guitar to do this, but we pretend that we have a guitar. So let's see, how about everybody from Debbie over here? We'll start, and then you guys follow.
Sure.
You ready?
Yeah.
We're both doing the A and B?
Yep.
good luck, guys.
Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah. Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah. Joyful, dwelling in my heart. Oh, is in my heart. Joyful, dwelling in my heart. Oh, is in my heart. Ashrei Yoshve
Dwelling in my heart.
Od Yahalelucha Selah. Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah. Joyful, dwelling in my heart. Oh, is in my heart. Joyful, dwelling in my heart. Oh, is in my heart. Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah. Ashrei Yoshve Betecha, Od Yahalelucha Selah.
Yeah.
All right,
We're
so
pretty well.
yes, so that's that, and I think we've
Okay.
got,
I got it.
okay, well, and now we're going to turn it over to you.
All right.
So thank you, everybody, and I think our voices are a little bit warmed up, so
Cool.
Max is going to take
A
over.
quick note about how much the Pico. Did you have some other things that people might know?
Possibly, but we'll
Oh, anyway.
talk about
Yeah,
that
yeah,
later.
another time. Cool. All right. Well, yes, as Rachel was saying, now we're a little warmed up. So I wanted to teach something for Eladon, which is one of the central parts of the Shacharit service on Shabbat. So page 151. Page 151 in Lev Shalem. Or if you're online and don't have a Lev Shalem, you can probably Google it, space Agon. And so Eladon is about kind of the space that God occupies in the universe. And the tune that I want to talk about, teach, and sing today is one where we get kind of increasingly loud, but also intense, and if you want, sometimes even faster. And it's kind of like about filling that space. That's kind of one way of thinking about this tune. But let's just start with singing it on a nigun, on Yadidais. And this tune, like Rachel was talking about, a lot of Jewish tunes, folk tunes do, has an A part, a lower part, and a B part, a higher part. So let's start with the A part. So I'll do like maybe one little line at a time, and we can do a sort of repeat after me. So the first part goes, so no need to look at the words yet, just on the end of dice. Take my mask for this. So yai die 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 die. So let's just start with that. Yai die 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 yai Great. So let's just start by putting those two together. Nice, cool. So that's the first half of the A part. And then the second half of the A part is very similar to that, just with a slightly different finish. So yeah, yeah, na 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 na. So different. Yeah, na 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 na. So so let's do the second half of the A part now. So yeah, na 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 na. Yeah, na 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 na. Cool. Okay. So I'll just sing both of those parts together, and then why don't we do? I'm just checking the chat. Great. Okay. I'll do both of those pieces of the A part together, and then we'll just sing the A part a few times all together. All right. So. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Let's do it again. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. One more time. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Cool. All right. So now let's go to the B part, the high part. So it goes something like, again, we'll do one bit at a time. Ya na 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 na. Let's try that. Ya na 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 na. Great. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Cool. So let's do both of those first two parts of the B part together. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Cool. And then the second half of the B part again is similar to the first half, just with a slightly different ending. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Let's try that together. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 ya na na na. Yeah, so I'll do this the whole B part again, and then we'll do that together a few times. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Ya na. And then it kind of slips back into the A part. But let's do the B part just a few times as the B part. One more time, B part. Cool. All right. So that's a sense of the tune. I'll just say a little bit more about it, and then we'll put it to some of the words for Eladon. So this is by Rabbi Josh Wachowski, who's one of the most exciting new Jewish musicians in my book. He's ordained from JTS, Conservative Seminary, and kind of travels a bit and writes music. There's 3 volumes of what is the Chavrai Nivarech series, which are nigunim, this sort of style of music. Very good. You can check them out on any streaming site you want. And there's very, very, very many people who are composing really cool Jewish tunes in the sort of nigunim subgenre. And if anyone wants to talk about that, certainly happy to give recommendations. But one thing that I really like also that he said about this tune is that what he imagines when he's singing it is if you're walking to shul and you just have a kind of a tune pop into your head, and you're kind of humming it a little, and then you meet someone else you know from shul, and they hear what you're singing and they start kind of singing along with you, and this keeps happening until you have like a crowd of people who are coming in, and then you all enter shul together and start davening. And I love this image, right? It's just like too great to actually really happen, but we can imagine it. So this sort of like building that he imagines with this tune, right? You can hear it start soft and speed up a little, you get more intense. And so there are multiple ways to conceptualize that. I gave one at the beginning and another one just now, but I encourage you to think about other ways of imagining this tune can represent. Okay, so let's try to put it to a little of the words. This is page 151. There's transliteration at the bottom, on the left, or Hebrew at the top. So basically the idea is something like, so I'll sing the first stanza here with the words in the tune. If you feel like you might be comfortable joining in, great. Otherwise, we'll repeat the first stanza again after I just give you an idea of what it's like with the words. And so basically, each section of the A and the B part will be in one stanza. We will do it here, right? So it'll be pretty spread out. Okay, so I'll sing the first stanza and you'll get an idea. Adonai kol hamasim, Baruch umborach v'fito neshama, kolo v'tuvo u'malei olam, Tatu tvuna u'bevimoto. So that's the idea. So the A and the B part in one stanza. So let's just, I think, try to go through all of Eladon. And if you're feeling like the words are too much, just sing it on Nigun, just sing on Yadidai and get a sense of the tune. And if you feel like you can try doing it with the words, that's great too. If you mess up the words, that's totally fine. Possible I'll mess up the words, so we're on this together. We're just trying to put the words to the tune. All right, cool. And we'll do it on the slower end. So let's start at the beginning. little faster, a little louder.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Shkach, everyone. Well
Nice.
done.
Jonathan.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
So my approach is a little bit different. So I teach is not necessarily a full tune. As a matter of fact, it's smaller pieces. Because if we look at the Amida, so in particular the Musaf, when you turn the page, find it, 187. 187 in our Lev Shalem. So very little of this page has to do with substantial repetition. There is some, but there are a lot of different tunes for each line. And depending on where you go in the world, which shul, which locale, you're going to hear a different tune used as the standard of a certain congregation. The beauty of BEKI is that our leaders come from everywhere. So there is no cantor with a tune. That being said, every leader brings their own tunes to it. So I've taught by osmosis in the past, as I hammer away at a tune, and I use it again and again and again. By the time that everybody's done with it, they've heard it, they know it fairly well, but I've never actually taught it. And this is about understanding the melody, and also understanding what to do with it. And that means whether you're up there leading it yourself, you're using the melody. If you are in the congregation, you may not be using the melody. You may be responding. You may be harmonizing. You may be interacting with it in a different way. So I'm going to try to explain how to do all this. And I apologize for the lack of mask. In my case, I can't sing with it. So I lose my breathing. So what I want to look at in particular, we're going to start with Kavod Malei Olam. It is basically the second non-indented set of lines. Is really line number 6 on the page. Trying to see if there is transliteration. I don't think so.
Wait, which page are we on?
This is 187.
We're on
187. We're in the Hebrew, 6 lines down from the top on the right
Okay.
page.
Okay.
So Kavod Malei Olam, I'm going to be doing 2 different tunes tonight. They both go relatively quickly, so the hope is we can knock possibly 2 out there and possibly another 1 or 2 for the next prayers as we go. I'm not going to attempt to run the entire page this evening because there's too much there. So I'm not going to do the one that I do regularly, actually. I'm going to start with a different one. I have to cue it up in my head. That's the other thing that happens when you have enough of them in here. It takes a while. You have to flip through the Rolodex.
Very good.
Well, flip through the Rolodex. And so if you hear me pause in the middle of the service, that's why I'm flipping through my Rolodex.
Or for kavanah, to say your intention.
So
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
ready.
I'm trying to give you an out here.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right. So we go through stock. Okay. So I'm going to sing one, and these are short. So we're going to repeat them a few times, and I'm going to ask everybody to join in as you're ready. So line number 6, line number 5, on the way down. Lines 5 and 6. Everybody give that a try. Kevodom alei olam. Kevodom alei olam. Kevodom We're going to keep going from here, and then we're going to start combining them. Misharetav, Shoalim, Shoalim zelazeh. I'll do that one again. Misharetav, Shoalim, Shoalim zelazeh. Let's try it all together. Misharetav, Shoalim, Shoalim zelazeh. Very good. So we're going to continue on to the next line. It's pretty much the same. Aye mekom kivodo. Aye mekom kivodo. Aye mekom kivodo. Aye mekom kivodo. Leumatam, Leumatam, Baruch Yomeru. I'll do that one again. Leumatam, Leumatam, Baruch Yomeru. All together. Leumatam, Leumatam. Baruch Yomeru. So all together, I'm going to run through it once, and then I'm going to keep running it through until everybody is comfortable to join in. Kivodo male olam, Kivodo male olam, Mishartav, Shoalim, Shoalim zelazeh. Aye mekom kivodo. Aye mekom kivodo. Leumatam, Leumatam, Baruch Yomeru. Kivodo male olam. Kivodo male olam. Mishartav, Shoalim, Shoalim zelazeh. Aye mekom kivodo. Aye mekom kivodo. Leumatam, Leumatam, Baruch Yomeru. Again. Kivodo male olam. Kivodo male olam. Mishartav, Shoalim, Shoalim zelazeh. Aye mekom kivodo. Aye mekom kivodo. Leumatam, Leumatam, Baruch Yomeru. All right, one more time all together. Kivodo male olam. Kivodo male olam. Mishartav, Shoalim, Shoalim zelazeh. Aye mekom kivodo. Aye mekom kivodo. Leumatam, Leumatam, Baruch Yomeru. Very good. So What I mean by the tune and by the reaction or by the response, that's the tune. So anybody who's up there beating can use that tune, run it quietly, belt it, however you want to run it, because the words, I mean, you have God's glory fills the universe. One angelic chorus asks, where is the place of God's glory? And then the other responds, and the response is the next line. So we're giving emotion and music to this scene. So is anybody very confident with that tune? Anybody in the room very confident to be able to sing it on their own while I introduce the next layer?
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay.
All right. So
Please don't confuse us.
yeah. So there is something that we can do when you're running this tune. So Kavodo Male Olam, and I'm going to introduce this in other ways as well. So Kavodo Male Olam. So I want one person to sing it. Max, Rachel, do you want to pick that up? Just run that first line, and I'm going to bring a hum.
Do you want to come in or should I start?
Just start. I'm going to immediately.
Kivodo male olam, kivodo male olam.
So one note hummed under it brings an incredible presence to the tune. When an entire congregation does it, the hairs go up on the knobs. One note. Kivo, kivo, it's a because you don't know where they're going until after a few notes. Maleo lam. Just hold the M. All right. So I'm going to bring. Let's do that together. You and I, Max. We're going to bring that leadership in, and then I want everybody to come in with that on Maleo lam. So the all right. Ready? Kivodo male olam, kivodo male olam. Excellent. So things get a little more complicated when we start ramping it up. Nishartav. So, but in this case, you're going to preempt it. So that note has to come in ahead of the and then you go then you bring it back down. And then so there's humming that's going on behind this. The most impressive one is holding that first note for the first one. It gives all the harmonies where they need to be. So I'm going to try it. I don't know where we're going to go quite with the humming, but this is something that everybody can work on at home and, and to think about. And we're going to have the recordings of this. So if you want to hum along to it, you can, and you can figure out where you want to be, because there's a good chance if that hum matches, someone else's hum is going to be in harmony. It's matching too. And it creates this incredible soundscape within the combination. So I'm going to.
You raise it as either raises pairs, or saying also.
Generally. So you know the tune, right? So knowing the tune, you know where they're going to go.
So you raise the hum with it, or you move it with it.
Well, for the first two
The
lines,
first
Kavodo
three,
Male Olam, and Kavodo Male Olam,
Okay, great.
and you let it go. But then you raise. So you're already ahead of them. And then it bounces a little bit. And then it just cuts right through it. So I'm going to sing it. I want everybody to try to bring in that harmony. Remember that Kavodo Male Olam is repeated twice. So you want to hold that note all the way through. Ayem Kom Kavodo is repeated twice. Hold that note all the way through. Then you move around on the other ones. And then at the very end, Baruch Yomeru, everybody just usually joins in that. Baruch Yomeru. So let's give this a shot. Kivadom alei olam. Kivadom alei olam. Nisharta shoali. Good. Shoali v'selazem. Good. I become kevodo. I become kevodo. Liumata. Liumata. All together. Baruch Yahweh. It's gorgeous. Well done. There is one more layer. I'm going to tap on it briefly and then we can move on completely. I'm probably only going to do one more on the next round. So how much time do I have?
Well,
Pretty good.
it is currently 8:15.
Okay, I better wrap it up.
8:30 to 8:45,
Okay.
depending on how long.
So let
you
me,
want to
So
stay.
you can do
let
one
me-
more after this. Yeah.
Let me,
Yeah.
all right. So
Finish
I'll
this,
teach and
finish
then
this,
I'll
and
be
then do one
done.
more. No, it's great.
All right. So there is another way to approach this, even with the humming going on, even with the singing going on, and that's full of harmony. And this takes a bit of improvisation. You can learn on it. So Max or Rachel, do you want to start us off with Kavoda Leolam? Keep going. I gave the conqueror. I gave the conqueror. So there's incredible layering that goes on. And when you bring it all together in a congregational setting, it's unlike anything else. So that's Kvodo Malayalam. There is another version, and I know we're each going around doing one more, so let me reverse the order now.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I'm
It's
gonna
great.
teach my
Yeah.
second one and then go back. So there's another Kavoda Malayalam. And this is the one that I've been bringing in most of the time. This is more performative. So what that generally means is that it's very cantorial. It doesn't often offer, in this context, a place for everybody to join in. However, it is an incredible one with the humming and harmonizing. So now that you know these tricks, this is how you interact with it. It's actually rather simple, this Kvoda Malayalam. A little bit easier even than the previous one. The trick is that anytime I say aye, you repeat it. Very, very easy. Except for the final one, and you'll know why when you're holding out notes, but I'll run through it quickly. There's no point in doing it piecemeal here. This one needs to be done in full and you'll hear it. Kvodo Malayalam. This is where you come with the hum. We'll try that one again. Kvodo Malayalam. Beautiful. Mishartav. So we're going to change it. So we're going to break it after that. When I start Mishartav, we break the hum and then we start it again. So, Kvodo Malayalam. Break right there. Mishartav. That's a new one. Shalim. And then cut it there. Zelazem. Bring that hum back in. So we're doing two different notes. And then we break it there, and then aye, 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 mekom, mekom kevodo. Good. Aye, aye, Mekal Kevodo. That's pretty much it. But there's a level of refinement and finesse that we can bring to it with a couple of rounds of practicing it. So you can watch for my hand signals if you want, because I'm going to stop and hum. So I don't know the formal signals, as I don't even formally trained with this, but the hum and then stop. So if it's up, it's do something. If it's repeat is
Well, a
this.
better idea is like we're coming and then we're.
That's
Oh,
right.
sure, yeah.
That's right, right?
Yeah.
Right. So let's try it again. And then we can focus a little bit on the tune if you want to learn how to do it. Because it's not the easiest to execute, but it is very easy to join with. Kvodo Maleola Misharta Shali Zelazeh Aye, 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 Mekal Kevodo. Aye, aye, Mekal Kevodo. Very good. We're going to run it one more time. And for everybody who's listening in and hearing how we're working through it, the more times we practice this, the more people that hear you, the more people are going to join in and becomes a little bit of a snowball effect in that way. So I'll run it one more time. Let's see. Kvodo Maleola Misharta Shali Zelazeh Aye, 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 Mekal Kevodo. Aye, aye, Mekal Kevodo. Very good. You can feel it. The energy begins. Phenomenal.
Sure,
Excellent.
sure.
All right.
Lovely.
That's all I have.
Yeah, good. Great work. Okay, I'll bring
Yes,
bring
this
our
over.
chair
While
with
we're bringing this
tablet over.
We're gonna turn to page 168. Gonna kick this party up a notch a little bit. So, our Torah service is based on, and I use those words specifically, it's based on the Torah service of Solomon Sulzer, who was the rock star, first, the Oberkantor, the chief cantor of Vienna for much of the 19th century. This was a man whose ego entered the room 5 minutes before he did, but he had a good reason for it. So the first melody that you'll hear, En Kamocha Elohim Adonai, that's a Sulzer melody. You can kind of tell that that's a Sulzer melody. It's very 19th century. It's very European. It's very what would have been modern for the time. And it's very much a Starhazen who knows that he's a Starhazen. So we go along with this melody. It is, ironically, it's the hardest melody in the entire Torah service to sing, and it's the first one. And then you notice that when we hit Av Harachamim, we do a completely different melody. Av Harachamim, which is a beautiful melody. It's not Sulzer's melody. It's not in the same key or the same mode as Sulzer's melody. And sometimes, just to shake things up a little bit, I like to do Sulzer's melody because I know it. And every time I do it from behind me, I can feel the eyes going, what? So I figured that we'd run through it a little bit so that you can get a little bit more, oh yes, rather than, oh, this. So
Like, oh no.
yes, oh yes, rather than oh no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing this through once, and then we'll go through it phrase by phrase. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. It's something that you can pick up by practice, but you have to know it first. So this is what it sounds like when you're not panicking because this is not the Dinievsky melody that you know. Av Harachamim, Eitiva Virtzoncha et Zion, Tivne Homot Yerushalayim, Kircha Lavad Batachnu, Melech Melech Elron Benizah, Adon Olamim, Adon Olamim, Adon Olamim, Adon Olamim. Which you can probably tell that's the counter, that's the melody that goes with En Kamocha Elohim, because it's all trumpets. It's trumpets all the way through. It fits with the previous melody. For interpreting the text, I prefer our standard melody, but I also really like this one, which is why I keep it as an alternative. So everybody now close your eyes for just a second and imagine that you are the shit. You are the shit. You like hard parties, you like fast horses, and you love singing the Torah service. Okay? This takes attitude. So we're gonna go through.
I don't have to imagine.
So we are gonna go through this phrase by phrase. Right. So we're gonna go through this phrase by phrase. We are all Solomon Sulzer now. So Av Harachamim, Av Harachamim, Eitiva Virtzoncha et Zion, Eitiva Virtzoncha et Zion, Tivne Homot Yerushalayim, Tivne Homot Yerushalayim.
I didn't know that was a composition.
All right. Anyway, so all right, so we'll just do that bit again. Av Harachamim, Eitiva Virtzoncha et Zion, Tivne Homot Yerushalayim. And that upward motion on Homot, it sounds a little too bright. It's meant to. It's meant to just height. Yeah, it is going to sound a little bit too bright, but he meant it that way. One more time. Avarahami, Etiva, Birchon HaEshion, Tivnei Homa, Yerushalayim. And here's where you really become trumpets. Kiva, Kiva, Lavad Batachnu, Lavad Batachnu. Those two phrases together. Kiva, Lavad Batachnu. Melech, Melech, Elam Benisa. Melech, Melech, Elam Benisa. And then the thing always to remember is that this one has multiple sets of Adon Olamim. This is, this 19th century, we have to repeat the ending and repeat the ending and repeat the ending so that you know that it's ending. Adon Olamim. Adon Olamim. Again. Adon Olamim. Adon Olamim. Yes, and that is the kind of flourish that you want. So let's start from Ki B'cha. Ki B'cha, Levad Batachnu, Melech, Melech, Elam Benisa, Adon Olamim, Adon Olamim. Adon Olamim, Adon Olamim. So we'll just run through it, the whole thing one more time, and then you'll have there. Yeah, it's
hard.
it's not an easy melody, but it's one of those ones. I've actually learned it as a congregational melody, so it's one of those ones that you can do that way. We're not practicing for the grand choral version tonight. What I want people to do is become familiar with it, and as I decide in the first moment whether or not to use it, you'll know what to expect. So we'll just run through the whole thing again very slowly, and then we'll turn it over to Max, I think. Avarahami, Etiva, Birchon HaEshion, Tivnei Homa, Yerushalayim. Kiva, Levad Batachnu, Melech, Melech, Elam Benisa, Adon Olamim, Adon Olamim, Adon Olamim, Adon Olamim. Excellent. It is a lovely melody, and thank you for sticking with it. Now you'll be at least a little bit less wrong-footed if I decide to use this one, and you can sing along, and eventually we'll get the whole congregation doing it.
Nice.
All right.
Good.
So we've been at it for about an hour and 5 minutes. Do we want to stay for another 10 minutes for Max's final tune? Okay, we had enough. What do we think? Shall we?
All right, we can do a kind of easier one as an aperitif, so to
Fabulous.
speak.
So we'll
So
turn
page
this around.
130. Oh, thank you. So page 130. And just a few words at the very bottom of 130. They're transliterated. Actually don't know who wrote this tune. Rachel, you might know. Please tell me if you know. So Orech Yamim Astiehu, the Arehu Bishuati. And it's kind of chant-like, and there's a low part and a high part. So I'll just do the low part, and then we'll do it a bunch together. and then I'll introduce the high part. We can do it a bunch together. The low part, so both the A part and the B part are in the same line. That line is repeated in the psalm, and so in this case, we do the A part and the B part the same line. So the lower part is Orech yamim masmi'ehu ve'arehu b'yeshuati. Orech yamim masmi'ehu ve'arehu b'yeshuati. So the A part, as you hear, it's two halves, which are basically the same, except they just end slightly differently. So same as before. Okay, so we'll just do that a bunch of times. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So this is the last. So
Oh,
in the
okay, yeah,
so
now I see
transliterated
it,
in
yes.
red at the bottom of the left side, or in the Hebrew at the bottom of the right side.
Okay.
Of
thank you.
bottom of 130. All right, so we'll just do this a bunch. Orech yamim masmi'ehu ve'arehu b'yeshuati. 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 Nice. All right, great. So now the high part goes. So b'yeshuati orech yamim masmi'ehu ve'arehu b'yeshuati. 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 Now let's try to alternate them. Orech yamim masmi'ehu ve'arehu b'yeshuati. 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 One more time. Orech yamim masmi'ehu ve'arehu b'yeshuati. Orech yamim masmi'ehu ve'arehu b'yeshuati. Orech yamim masmi'ehu ve'arehu b'yeshuati. Orech yamim masmi'ehu ve'arehu b'yeshuati.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, you can do it just like for a really long time. I learned this one at a Chavra minyan I used to go to in college, and at that minyan, Pesukei Zimra was really the highlight of the service. It also started at 10, so people got there for Pesukei Zimra, which helps. But really just kind of digging in on melodies like that was so energizing for my prayer experience at that minyan. I really love this one, and it makes me a little bit sad that we don't have much Pesukei Zimra action at BEKI, but soon. we're gonna do some, hopefully some, like, at some point in the spring, maybe like a sort of like Shabbatoni sort of thing. We have like musical services, sprouted services, and maybe we'll do some of these like this and sing the same. But anyway, it's been a pleasure to dig in with some music with everyone.
Thank you all- thank-
So
Thank you all for coming. Thank you,
Yeah.
Max and Jonathan, for
you,
sharing your
Rachel.
music with us. And thank you, everybody, for coming out on a freezing cold night. to sing with
Yeah,
us.
and I think if people are interested, we'll try to do more of these sorts of things.
Yes,
And
I would,
Yeah.
I would
All
love
right.
that.
All right, well, then we'll start thinking of a date.
yes,
All right.
indeed,
Oh, that is, that would be fun.
Let me know.
Yes.
that'd be great.